Hey guys, it's Ashley. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you my updated makeup routine. My makeup definitely has changed a lot in the past couple of months, so I figured I would do an updated makeup routine. It's a lot more natural, glowy, like, damn, look at that highlight, you know what I mean? All of the products that I use are going to be linked down in the description, so be sure to check them out if you want to be able to get this nice glowy skin. Also, guys, we're about to hit 100,000. Like, this is so crazy. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below and hit the little notification bell so you can get notified every time that I upload. I am so excited. This is crazy. We're literally almost at 100,000, guys. Like, this is literally insane. Thank you guys so much. So if you guys want to see how I got this look, go ahead and keep watching. Okay, yeah, I know, I look scary, okay? We're gonna get over it. Anyways, moving on. Oh my god. I talked all about my skincare in my skincare routine. I'll link it below if you wanna go check that out. But yeah, I already did all that stuff, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and prime my face. Recently, I've been trying out the Professional Matte Rescue. I don't know if it makes that much of a difference, but I kind of like using it, and it came in like this pack of like benefit stuff that my mom got me, so I'm like, well, I might as well use it, and since I'm oily, I mean, it's not gonna hurt. All right, now that I've gotten that on, then I'm going to go in with the Benefit Professional Primer. This primer is amazing. I don't know anyone that doesn't love this primer. If you know me, you know I have big pores, and if you don't, hi, I'm Ashley, and I have big pores, so I put a lot of this shit on. I used to only like buy the little one, but since I use so much of it, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get the big one this time. And I feel like it really makes like a big difference when you use like more, because then I feel like your foundation just goes on so much more like smoothly and evenly, and like it doesn't look as patchy if you put like a good amount of this stuff on. I know Maybelline has like a dupe for this one, Instant Pore Eraser, but for me personally, I can't use it because my skin is too oily for that. It would just look like I had a wet face. Now, for the final primer, my hands are all like, you know, slippery now, so $5 pizza, me. All right, sorry. Then I go in with my Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. I just use a, ooh, oh my god. And I just kind of use like a pea-size amount. I've sort of just been using my pinkies because I've noticed I'm like a lot more gentle with my pinkies, and I don't want to like create wrinkles, you know? You know. And I don't know, I'm really weird. I put this on my eyebrows too. I don't know. I just do it. I feel like it helps my eyebrow product stay on a lot longer. Guys, since my microblading has like disappeared because I never went in for my touch-ups because I'm a piece of shit. They like disappeared, and I'm sad about it, but you know, it's fine. So with that being said, you guys get a eyebrow tutorial. Okay, fun. So now I just went and wet my beauty blender. I have a cute little red one now. It's so cute. Now we're gonna go in with foundation, and for foundation, recently I have been using the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I used to use this back when my skin was clear, and like back before tour when I wasn't taking photos every day. I would always use this because it's like, I would say like light to medium coverage, definitely like buildable, but you don't look like a crazy cake face. This is what I use when I'm looking for like a natural glowy finish, you know what I mean? I'm in the shade 4, but you know, me and my friends, we love our tan. This might not match perfectly, but we're gonna use it anyways. I don't know, my skin's never gonna match. I've just accepted that. Honestly, maybe it does match. Oh well. I'm just gonna go ahead and pump a little bit onto my beauty blender, and then just kind of make dots everywhere. Yeah, she's matched. Something on my lip. I've also been trying to use the technique of like dabbing on your foundation rather dabbing on my foundation rather than like swiping it like I used to. This foundation's a lot more blendable, so it's a lot easier to dab rather than to like swipe. With the Marc Jacobs foundation, I felt like you almost had to swipe it to blend it, but this one blends very, very well. And don't forget to put some on your neck. I'm not trying to look stupid. And if I'm looking this way, it's because my mirror's right there. So I have a really bad habit of just literally talking into the mirror. I felt like I needed to move a little bit closer. I don't know. All right, so now that the foundation is blended in pretty well, I'm going to go in with my Shape Tape Concealer by Tarte. I am in the shade Light Medium Honey, and I'm just gonna go ahead and load it up in the usual spots. I'm like running out of this. That's so sad, but I've had it for like a long time, so. Oh no, I'm gonna have to go to Sephora. I hate that. Damn. Oh well. Maybe just gonna go in with our beauty blender and blend. Look at me go, guys. I am patting. I know. My skin is hella red right here. Looks like someone bit my little face. We have like a little ant infestation going on right now, so I think they're just like sleeping with me and biting my little face. So that's why it's even extra red. Now that my concealer is all blended in, I'm gonna make sure that there's no concealer creased under my eyes at all, so I can go ahead and bake. I usually always bake my face, especially like my nose area, just because my pores are really big. understated, as if I hadn't said it, you know, a million times already. But whenever I bake right here, it literally makes it look like I have no pores. So I'm gonna go ahead with my little like diamond beauty blender that I have, and I already wet it so that the powder sticks to it very well. Oh my god, I literally just got a hair out of my eye. That hurt. I was like in low-key like a lot of pain, but I didn't want to say anything. I like to use this beauty blender because it has these like little sharp corners on it, kind of. I can like really get into like corners and like just make sharp like lines with this one. So I really like this beauty blender for baking. More, I need more. Oh, I forgot to mention that I'm using the Laura Mercier setting powder. This is like the only setting powder I use, just because, I mean, we've all heard of Flashback Mary. No offense, James. I just don't want to have that happen to me, so. And I just absolutely love this powder. This is looking like a natural bake, and that is not what I want. I want a heavy bake. We trying to do like the 400-degree thing today. And then I just do some right here. And then also, literally like all over my nose practically, because I have a very oily T-zone. And then I just do a little bit of powder up here for now, because I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows, and I still want the foundation around my eyebrows to still be like wet, because I'm going to go ahead and outline my eyebrows. Okay, now for brows. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my little eyebrow brush. I think it's like the number 18 one or something from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I just go ahead and like take whatever product is left on this and like spray it with my Fix Plus, and then just take like either like a makeup wipe or like a little cotton square and just get all the makeup off from last time. Whenever I want my like eyebrows to look like completely snatched, I go ahead and use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Blonde, because you know. But if I'm like trying to do my makeup really fast, I think it's easier to just use like a brow powder. Tana showed me the Urban Decay Shadow and Faint looks really good with our blonde hair, so I mean sometimes I use that. I've actually been using that a lot recently, so if you follow me on Snapchat, you know, at Ashley Schwan right here. I mean, if you've seen my eyebrows recently, it's pretty much just been that brow powder. But I do the same thing with both. So I go ahead and just kind of brush through my brows, you know, the 4 hairs I have on each side. Oh, okay. This is like really up close and personal, but whatever. So I go ahead and just scoop a little bit out, and then I go ahead and I just put it right on to my thumb like this. I use my like thumb as like a little canvas. So whenever I say I go ahead and dip, I'll usually like wipe both sides and then just go ahead and like make like a little brush stroke to get my brush in there, and then wipe both sides. Moving on to the brow. All right, now that you're too close, we're gonna show you how we do this. Okay, so as you can see, I have really shitty brows naturally. Surprise, surprise. So now that I've combed through my brows, since we have like a fresh dip going on, I go ahead and I start lining my brow on the bottom, and I start like a 1/4 into my brow, and I just start lining the bottom part with dip brow. And if it's a little messy, it's totally fine. Don't even trip, because we're gonna fix it later. We're gonna go ahead and line this part right here. Now with the outer part of my eyebrow, I don't really care if it's like too dark, because I like that fade going on, you know, where it's like light to dark. This looks really wonky right now, but trust me, it's gonna look good. Now I'm not saying I'm the best at eyebrows, but I'm pretty f***ing great, so no, I'm kidding. But I mean, I feel like I make them look decent for what I have to work with. And then I just kind of like brush this pomade that I just put on up, and this stuff down. And if you brush your brows down, you can kind of just see exactly where the top of your eyebrow is. So that's what I like to go ahead and do, even though it looks disgusting. And I just create the shape that I want. And then brush through them. And then I'm just adding more product to darken it up. Now, whenever I do my eyebrows, I don't like it to look too like down, so I kind of try to bring it out rather than just straight down. Yeah, we'll work with that. I haven't been dipping my brush into the product too much because I like to work with little, so I don't accidentally put too much, especially when I start doing this part right here. I am dipping in right here just because I don't really have too much brow right here, so I just make it super dark and kind of pack the product on this part. I'm sorry my eyebrow is moving so much. So now that we kind of have like this situation, I mean, you could just leave it if you like that like nice little like fade, but I don't know, I'm weird. I like to like make my eyebrows kind of like square looking in the front. I don't know, personal preference, you do you. If you like it round, you can do it round, but this is how I do it. So now that I have little product on my brush, I go in right here and start drawing the bottom line again. See? So now we kind of have that line going. Since I don't have that many natural hairs growing right here, I go ahead and make little brush strokes with my brush and kind of literally draw on my fake brows. in directions how they would grow naturally. Now I'm going to go ahead and line the top part of my brow, just kind of bring it in, and I have hardly any product on my brush, so I just keep making little baby strokes. Okay, so that's pretty much the shape that I like to have for the most part. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing to this eye, and I will be right back. So now both of my brows are done, and personally, I mean, I really don't have that many eyebrows, so sometimes I have some like lighter spots. In that case, I like to go ahead and grab just some dark powder, whichever one like matches your eyebrows, and then the same eyebrow pencil, but I went ahead and wiped it off already, and I'm just gonna dip it in, tap it off, and then I kind of just like wipe the brush on both sides like this so it doesn't have too much product on it. And then I go ahead and look at those lighter spots and just fill them in with the brow powder. Look, like that already looks so much better, and we're not even done. Right here, for example. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of brush up right here because I feel like this side is always a little bit darker. So I kind of just try to take away some of the product. All right, I'm happy enough with my brows. Now here is the part that is important. This part is how you get good brows. Like these brows, okay, whatever, like cool, fun. To make them look snatched, we're gonna go ahead and grab our concealer that we used on our eyes. I just do the same thing that I did with the brow product. I just put it on my hand like a little canvas, just a little bit. And then I go ahead and go in with a little flat brush. Anyone works. I go ahead and just put a little bit on just like the tip of this brush. And then I go ahead and I'm gonna outline the very bottom of it to really make the brow look nice and sharp. And I literally just keep going in and getting more product because I don't want too much, but I don't want too little. Just enough to see like a nice defined line. And then sometimes I'll go back in with more powder just to fix the shape and make it look perfect. See, now it looks super duper sharp. Like, it's a brow. Like, God, like, look at the difference. It's the concealer. The concealer is the game changer, I'm telling you. Okay, so I went ahead and did the same thing to this brow, and now at this point, sometimes if my eyebrows look crazy different, I'll go ahead and take some either concealer or foundation and go ahead and put some right here to really sharpen them up and outline the top. But today I feel like they don't look like crazy different, so I don't really have to do that, except for like right there. But yeah, now it looks better. I mean, like, they're like identical twins, but like not crazy identical, you know? And like that's what I go for. So now that our face has been baking for like 15 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and just take a fluffy brush and go ahead and wipe that all in. I'm just gonna take a little bit more powder and apply it wherever my face still kind of feels sticky. And I just go over it pretty quickly, nothing crazy. Okay, so now we can move on to the eyes. But today I'm not really feeling too crazy. I'm just gonna do like just some like quick eyeshadow. So it's like, oh, she kind of tried, but like didn't really try, you know? I'm gonna go ahead and take some of my setting powder before I start my eyeshadow, and I'm gonna dip it in and just lightly just go all over the eye area just so our eyeshadows blend better. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. This palette is dope. It's like super like warm and like cozy. I love this palette. And then just like a decently sized, like this is like a pretty big blending brush. Honestly, I think I'm gonna go ahead and dip the third shade and the second shade, Chaser, and then Sauce, and I'm gonna go ahead and dip it in both. Tap it off and just kind of like start blending that in the outer corner. Nothing too crazy. I just kind of want like a light pinky nude situation going on today. I love this palette. Like I literally dipped it in the pigments like once and didn't even have to go back in. I just kind of go in like circular motions and some windshield wiper motions. We love a car. Just lightly buff it in. So now since we have like a little cute whatever color going on, I'm not really going for anything crazy. So what I've been doing recently is using my crushed up, broken Becca highlighter in Champagne Pop. Mine's broken as shit. I feel like everyone's is always broken, but you know, we still love her. And I'm just gonna take this brush that came with the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette, and I like this like little like flat side of it. And I will go ahead and spray it with my Fix Plus. Oh, that was almost the camera. And then just dip it in the highlighter, and I just kind of put this on like the inner 3/4 of my eye. Okay, so yeah, we kind of have that going on, and then I go ahead, I use the fluffy end of that brush and just kind of dip it in the pigment and just go right over top of it. And then I take the fluffy side again, and I'm gonna go in with the 5th shade, which is called Lumbre. I'm gonna go ahead and just lightly pack it onto the brush and just kind of go on the outer part of the eye to kind of blend in the light and the dark. And then now I'm gonna go ahead and take that fluffy brush again and dip it into the second shade and the third shade. Kind of blend it all together. You know, then we have like whatever on your eyes. It looks okay. It doesn't look crazy or anything, but it looks fine, and that's all I was going for, so we're good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take, oh, goodbye. Just like a little baby brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and dip it into the third shade. And then we're gonna bring that shade down, and we're gonna connect it to like the smoky part that we had going on. Nothing crazy, but we look put together. Okay, so we're done with that. Now I'm gonna go ahead with this little tiny Real Techniques brush. It's super duper small, and I'm gonna spray it with the MAC Studio Fix Plus. And now we're gonna take the Glow Kit. I've been turning to her recently a lot more than I usually do, especially for like highlighting. And I'm gonna go in with the shades Sunburst and Bubbly and just kind of mix them together, and I'm gonna use that on my brow bone. Like, I love these two shades mixed together. They just look like shiny, wet goodness. Okay, and then move on to the other eye, and then also a little bit in the inner corner. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and line my eye ever so slightly. I'm not doing like a crazy wing or anything. Like, it's not a special occasion. I don't need a crazy wing, especially with all this other goodness on. We don't really need that, so I'm gonna go ahead and just line a simple line on both sides. Okay, so I just applied just a simple line to both sides, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and put one coat of mascara with Benefit's Roller Lash Mascara. So now I just have like a simple little quick coat of mascara on both eyes. So you already know I had my eyelashes sitting over here with the glue drying, as always. So now that the glue is pretty tacky and ready to be glued on, I'm gonna go ahead and grab them with my tweezers. I always grab like the outer part of the eyelashes. What is on my finger? I feel like it's really easy to apply with tweezers, and then I just go ahead and place them right on top of my lashes. Okay. Usually when they're still like a little wet, I just kind of like place them randomly, you know, on there, kind of tug them one way, tug them the other way, and let them dry a little bit more before I like squeeze them to my actual lashes. And when I squeeze them, it really like obviously helps them look more natural, even though they're, I mean, clearly hooker lashes, but you know what I mean. All right, so now that I placed this one on, I'm gonna go ahead and just pinch them to my normal lashes to make them look more natural and get them closer to my lash line. Got a little bit of glue up there, but it's fine. I don't really give a shit. All right, now that we have the lashes on, I'm gonna go ahead and use my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, the waterproof one, on the bottom lashes because I have really oily skin, and this really helps prevent it from transferring onto my actual face, because for some reason that always happens to me if I don't use waterproof. Okay, now that we have our quick little coat of mascara on, now we're gonna go ahead and bronze our face. I always use the Hoola Benefit bronzer, and I'm just gonna go in with a little like fluffy brush. I'm not the best at bronzing, so I'm not gonna be like, oh, do this, do that. I kind of just like lightly contour my nose with this brush. I know it's crazy, but like it works. See, look, suddenly I have a nose. All right, so my camera just died, of course. So that was a quick 20-minute intermission, but whatever. We're going to continue. Yeah, I was kind of just contouring my nose. Not like contouring, but like it looks less crazy when I put bronzer everywhere else. I promise. It's a little bit dramatic right now. I'm not the best at bronzing, so I'm not gonna be like, you should do this and this and that. Like, I don't know. I just kind of go like so. Make a little face, nothing too crazy. Blend it up, and then I put a lot on my forehead because I have like an 8 head, I feel like. Whatever. I'm just gonna put it in the like the 3 spots, you know, up here, do the whole little forehead situation, and then under the jawline, because we need to make it look face-tuned, but like in person. Put some on my ear. I don't know, so I feel like it makes it blend and look better. And I just gotta like remove it from my earrings because I'm always wearing these earrings. And that, my friends, is how I get sick. Okay, now I'm looking like pretty bronzed, I would say. I don't know. I really just go everywhere with this. Oh, especially, I like to take like a little like flat brush, dip it in here, and go under my lip so it looks like my lips are bigger than they are. Not bigger than they are, but bigger because they're so small. Does that make sense? I have small lips, so I'm trying to make them look bigger, okay? Okay, so now we're pretty much done with bronzer. And then I like to go in and just take like this little circle brush that I have, and I like to go in with just some like pressed powder. I just heard a really big bang. That's so weird. I'm like home alone and it literally like sounds like someone got thrown downstairs. That's so weird. Okay, anyways, so I go ahead and dip my brush in my pressed powder, and then I like to take it just right under where I contoured to just make it look like, ooh, she knows what she's doing, but I don't. So fun. Sometimes I'll bake it when I have time, but like I don't got time for that right now. You know, when I'm feeling wild, maybe it's been a long day, maybe I've cried a lot the night before, which I have. So I like to take just like a little flat brush like this. I go ahead and go in with the shade and light palette in like the first 2 shades. I just kind of mix them tap it off, and then just go right under my eye. I feel like it just makes me look like awake and like less sad. Love that. Now, I mean, this is pretty much the finished look. We just have to highlight now. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray my face with the Makeup Forever Mix and Fist spray. And we're just gonna go ham and cheese and bologna sandwich on this, okay? I feel like fanning in your spray really helps it just dry all evenly and like pretty. So that's what we're gonna do. You know, I have my little rave fan. It's like broken, but it's fine. You know, it works. Whatever works. Now once it's like sort of dry, still a little bit wet. Recently I've been going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills and using the same shades that we used earlier, Sunburst and Bubbly. And I'll go ahead and dab it in both of them. And just go in right there. I'm really shitty at highlighting. Oh, big. Like, I feel like if I don't look at a mirror and I just like feel the cheekbone, you know? Ooh, 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 ooh. I love these two shades. It literally just looks like wet. Yeah, I said moist. And recently I've been putting a little bit above the brow just because it makes you just look so good. In the light, when it hits the light, it looks so nice. Just like put it all over your face, you know? And then just a little bit on the tip of the nose. So it looks like you have a nose job when you don't, even though you really want one, but you're just too poor, you know? A little bit on the chin. Just give yourself like a little Cupid's bow mustache. So I'm not really feeling anything crazy for my lips, but I'm just gonna go ahead and line them with the MAC lip pencil in Boldly Brayer, right? Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and just line the lid. If you ever see me, I'm usually wearing this shade. If it just looks like a nice, like, oh, it matches your face, it's this shade. And I already had some chapstick on before I lined my lips, and I feel like it really helps because this could be sometimes like super drying, so. Dinner's done. All right, now that that looks fine, that's all we can really ask for. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and put this little lip plumper that I got from Winky Lux. It is in the shade Lemon Cake, and it literally smells just like a lemon cake. It is so nice. Oh my, like I literally just want to, like, you know, but this stuff is literally no joke. And yeah, I think we are done. So yeah, that is the finished look. I don't know, I think I look nice, healthy, and glowing, you know, can't complain too much. So yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know if you've used any of these products and how you like them. Okay, so I also thought it would be really fun to start shouting you guys out. So this week's shout out is Ashanti Mo. Shout out to you, girl. I love you so much. She said, I subscribed, I hit that notification bell. Can I please have a shout out? I love you so much. You're so pretty. I love you so much. You're super dope, Ashanti. Thank you for the support. If you want to be at next week's shout out, just be sure to hit that little notification bell and tweet me a screenshot at Ashley Schwan, and yeah, you will be at next week's shout out. All of my social media will be linked down below. As always, I love you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.